All right, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to go through everything I use to become successful as a mechanic. There goes the phone. Let's put that here. All right, so earlier I kind of showed you this checklist one of these videos back, and so let's just go through it. So this this is like the top half, right? I'm not gonna go through this top half. I'm gonna just give you this bottom half, which is the A through Z asset checklist to launch and operate, right? Before I get into that, my name is Manny Velasco. In case you guys didn't know, I'm on a mission to help 70 to 100 people learn everything I know from mindset to business and beyond so that they can each help another 70 to 100 people do the same thing. And I've spent so much money on mistakes, 200 plus thousand dollars, and I'm looking to get that to $1 million plus dollars. All right, so that's a checklist. This one's going to be a bit of a quicker video because we just don't have enough battery on this. Um, so A to Z asset checklist to launch and operate a mechanic business. And this applies to mobile mechanics, right? But this universally applies to shops as well. It's kind of one and the same. So right here, this is everything you have to create in order to have everything you need really to go ahead and do this. Now, there's some things that um, you don't have to do, but ideally you have all these. All right. So go high level funnel pages, opt in, snapshot, offer, license pitch. But more so for you guys, it's going to be an opt in. So the way I set up my mechanic business is that I was working it through just having some links, right? And so these are my own links. What I would do is I have my website up and I would just make that the funnel page, right? For people to go ahead and just fill out the application to get some work done. And then after that, it spits out, you know, get diagnostic because usually that's the main thing to get because you may say you need something, but it's not that something that you're hearing, right? And so, yes, we can, fix this problem, or yeah, we can switch your brakes like you're asking, but we all know that's if that's the issue. I mean, I'll gladly get paid to swap out your parts for you and not do the diagnostic. But if it doesn't fix your problem, then that's on you, right? And so you'll pay double the money. All right. Anyways, so the opt-in, right? Then um, I built a free community, right? But I used Go High Level for it. There is school you could use. You have Facebook. You could mess around with some Slack and create that Discord. Ugh. You could. There's so many places to make a free community, really. Ideally, Go High Level is my main thing because that's the thing that houses my funnel page. That's the thing that houses pretty much everything that we're going to go through right now. And so Go High Level is a key part to a lot of operations, if you will, if not all the operations that we're going to speak through. Next is um, a snapshot of the booking page, quote PDF, email workflows, automations. So again, this is you have one page is the opt-in, right? The next page behind the opt-in, ideally, would be a booking page. And so what I did specifically because I was a mobile mechanic, I made my booking page paid, right? So if they were serious about getting this work done, they're going to pay for that service, right? If they're not serious, or maybe they need a little more information, then I'll call them up because they filled out the information. So regardless, it's like basically pick up the phone and call or just confirm the appointment, right? All right, next is a client PDF packet. So this includes pricing, what to expect, and testimonial is framed because you want to always grab testimonials because that is really key. If you don't have the testimonials from a customer, there's a lot of people out here who have been in business for a long time and have like 50 customers that reviewed them on Google, and yet they could be in business for decades and decades and decades. And so for sure, more than 50 people probably ran through that business. Um, so it's like you're doing yourself a disservice by not having people know that you're as great as you are, at least the online presence, right? So that's why you got to set up the testimonial properly. All right. Next is um, this for me is slightly different because this was going to be a licensing thing for me. And so we go into the licensing docs, and this talks about onboarding flow, SOPs, and a go high level snapshot on like everything that I'm talking about, right? And so that's not something that you necessarily need, but that's something that I have because it makes the system easily replicatable. And then we have, which again, something that you don't necessarily need, is a sponsor media kit. So in my head, when I was, and that's including the pitch deck, pricing sheet, and one pager. So in my head, I was thinking, I could turn around and create a series of building whatever really car that I want to build. It could be building a car specifically that, maybe I want to build. Maybe it's like the most efficient car or whatever. That's why the sponsor media kit exists, because having that available to, like, again, I was sponsored by Innova one time in the past. And so because they saw the content, they sponsored the video and gave me a product. And so this is valuable because you get to try products for free, right? Of course, give an honest review, honest opinion on what you got going on with that product, specifically on how you used it, how it was good, maybe it was bad, whatever your experience is with it. Don't be biased. And so you go ahead and speak about it because, again, you're doing the work anyways. So, hey, let's swap in tools for a little bit, and then building up a tool of like sponsored tools. And it's like, okay, you didn't really pay for those. So if they get damaged, you don't want to get your tools damaged now. But if they do get damaged, it's like, it's not so bad because I didn't pay out of pocket for these, right? And still to this day, the Nova 5610 is something that I use. It's like basically that's my go-to before I go into the big boy scanner because it shows me so much information. All right. So next up is the testimonial collection system. So this is creating a form and an image template so that as soon as you're finished with your services, boom, you hit them with this. And it's like ideally the way you make it. I'm gonna give you a little play with it. You gotta make it in a way where it's like, okay, if somebody says a 4 star, let's say, 4 star and up, you allow them to do that review, right? And then if somebody says a 3 star below, you say thank you for that feedback. How what would have made it a 4? What would have made it a 5 or whatever? So you could get that feedback and do better next time. You can't really please everybody. That's not something that's gonna happen. Unfortunately, in this world, there's people that you can do everything for them and they still won't be satisfied. So you're not gonna please everybody. But you're able to like avoid those types of people who just want to bash you because they just want to bash you. They wanted the service, for example. They're like, hey, my brakes are bad. And then it's like you do the brakes and it's like, why is my car not starting still? Well, you didn't get a diagnosis. You said change your brakes, so I changed your brakes. Oh man, you're such a shitty mechanic because you're supposed to like go look at it. No, you didn't pay for that. You declined those services specifically, right? But then again, some people are how they are. And so that's why you have the collection system specifically, because the system allows you to weed out the people who are just, again, they're not giving proper feedback. They're just like looking to bash you, if you will. All right. Now we have the giveaway funnel. So this is where um, I would this is what steps into the realm of me taking the sponsored stuff. If I don't need it because I already have the tool, it's like I might as well just pass that on, right? So sometimes it's a keep, sometimes it's a pass along. And so the giveaway funnel would just be tools, products, um, just to get more leads in, right? And it's tools and products specifically. to help people get their mechanic journey started if they want to. Because it's like, we know, if you're in this industry, you already know that getting your stuff started is a pretty penny, right? You instantly have to at least spend like 1,500, let's say 2,500, really, to get a decent setup for you to start working on these cars. And that's like you getting going to Lowe's or something like that, again, a Craftsman set, of the mechanic set that has multiple tools. But then you have the impact, which the impact alone is like 200 to 300 bucks. Then you have the jack, that alone is the proper one, is about 200 bucks. Then you need jack stands, so that's another 50 bucks. So we're at 250, and another 250 for the gun. So now we're at 500. If the tool set was 250, which more likely it's not, it's a little bit more than that, it might be 400. We're already at $1,000 just in those items, right? And we're not talking about any fancy electric ratchets or things like that that actually help the job run way faster, way smoother, right? But so it's like helping people along with that process and just giving them, like, you made it, right? You have a good, pass it along. That's all it is. So then we have VA scripts, because again, the way I'm thinking about this is like you could have a middleman that always speaks to people. You don't have to be the person who speaks to people. You might be the type that's a very good technician, but not necessarily good when it comes to handling customers and handling the phone process. So it's like you could pass that on to a VA, give them the script, the lead follow up, and the post sale onboarding, give them all that, right? Which is like them, they're the ones, hey, this is what you need. Okay, this is what it's gonna be. He can meet you, blah 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 blah. All right. And then it's like, okay, the follow up, hey, just want to confirm that blah 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 still works for you. If not, let's reschedule it. And then at the end, okay, hey, you got the work done. How was the service? Good. Okay, cool. I'm gonna send you a link. If you guys could give me a Google review, I would really appreciate that. Or review, I would really appreciate that. And that's the end, basically. But that's, like, again, a process that you don't have to worry about necessarily if you put a VA in place. And VAs are relatively cheap, anywhere from 500 to $1,000 for this specific scenario. All right, now we go into YouTube and IG, because social media is a thing and social media is valuable. You might as well use it. And so posting a couple of shorts a day is not really hard, and a long video, one long video a week, it's not really hard when you're putting your hands on a bunch of cars. You literally, if you're doing 3 cars a day, it's like, boom, that's, if you're doing a 5-day work week, that's 15 cars. That's more than enough for you to have plenty of content. Just filming, you could film build bits and pieces, make a whole week episode of what you got going on. This will help people notice you and stuff, and that will also help you get more business, right? And then we have sponsored integrations assets, the logo in the PDF, which is your invoice, and powered by spots, right? So it's like, if you want to be sponsored by Milwaukee, which Milwaukee, if you're watching this, I'll still take a sponsorship. I don't mind. There's plenty of tools that I see on your catalog that I definitely would take. But with that being said, again, utilize these people to help you out, get to achieve that goal that you want, right? Which is, again, either pass along the tools, getting your tools for free, or again, experience having new experiences with different tools, right? Because it's like, you're not gonna go out of your way if you're already on, let's say, the Milwaukee platform, while you switch into the Craftsman platform. It's like you're already invested in the system, so why not keep going, right? And so it's like, it allows you to keep going in abundance, if you will. And so it's like, for me specifically, Milwaukee has so many different storage uh, abilities and systems and stuff like that, that it's like, wow, like this is everything that you really need, right? To start your business. Get a pack out set or big ballers, like, because if you add up the pack outs together, it's probably that alone is 1,000, 1,500 bucks. Then you put the tools in it. And so that's another 1,000, 1,500 bucks, right? So again, sponsorships are a big thing because it's like tools cost money. So if you could mitigate that cost, why not? Right. All right. Now we move on to um, you gotta, you definitely gotta set up your payments. So how I have it here is Go High Level or Stripe. The thing is, Go High Level is integrated with Stripe. So you add your Stripe to Go High Level and then you can invoice on Go High Level. Or you could just invoice on Stripe. And the cool thing about Stripe, I showed you guys this before, is Stripe has this card reader. And so this card reader, you could slide a card in, right? You could swipe a card right here and you could tap Apple Pay or whatever pay, right, on the top. So you could literally accept all forms of payment just like that. And there's an app called I want to say it's called the Collect app, where you're able to like on the fly create invoices on there. But you could do the same thing on Stripe. It's just an easier interface, if you will. It's more of a like you're in a point of sale system and you have a register and you're just clicking the dollar amounts, right? That's what Collect does. But having that available to you is valuable so that you're collecting payments. Of course, you don't want to collect cash always. You want to go ahead and be able to accept all forms of payments, because the more payment forms that you accept, the more sales that you can make, right? There's a higher potential for that. And so next is emails and SMS automations. Again, Go High Level does all this. I'm not like trying to push you on Go High Level. It's just what I use. And like I'm the type that doesn't want to have so many softwares. I've been had all the softwares. So to break it down in a way that I just have a few softwares is very valuable to me. And so again, with Go High Level, you could create your opt-in, nurture, upsell, and move on to through the process, right? And so emails, or at least how I was taught, is the lifeblood of business. And so you'll see emails hitting your inbox all the times. And so most companies are using this. If you check Domino's, they're in your inbox every week. You got to remind people of what you got going on, because if you don't remind them, they're going to forget. It's like, hey, look, I want to buy this item, but I can't buy it until a month from now. Okay, just hit me up in a month. They're going to forget. Like, life happens. And then it's like, that shit's not at the top of their mind. And then when it is, it's like, they're not going to be like, oh, Emmanuel. They're going to be like, oh, item. Let me just go find the item, whether that's just buying it on Amazon, Walmart, or shopping on Facebook Marketplace or any marketplace like that. It's like they're going to go where um, it's the fastest like avenue, right? So it's like if you take too long to respond, they're probably calling a different mechanic, right? So having these systems set up. So what I would do on my phone specifically is I would set it up for when somebody calls me. I could, if I'm in the middle of some knee deep shit, I would just go click, and it would say, "Hey, sorry, I missed your call. How can I help you?" Simple like that. And you could set this up on Go High Level and not even use your phone for this, right? You could fully automate this into Go High Level. So instantly, it'll be like, "Hey, how can I help you?" Go through that whole process. Also, Go High Level has some voice agents. So you probably could create a call bot and handle all the calls, and that VA part can be skipped at that point. All right, so next part, we have Notion Tracker or Google Sheets, and this is just to track your sponsors. Really track all your work. The more data you have on what you got going on, the easier. So, like, if you could see throughout generally, it's like the winter time, there's not going to be as much AC uh done, right? In the summertime or closer to the summertime, everybody wants their AC done because they cannot be without it, right? And so it's like, okay, AC season or summer season is a hot season because of AC. And so you know that. But it's like there's other different jobs that are probably very popular around there too, but you don't have the tracking system to understand what's popular for you. You might be like the brake king every winter. You might be the oil change god every winter, but you don't know that because you don't have the data to back that up. So having the data is very valuable. All right, two more things, and then we go. All right. So confirmation and reminder text, specifically having templates available so it's already set up. Now, this again could be automated and done on Go High Level. This could also be something that you just keep in your notes and then you just switch the information out real quick and send that, right? Either way you go about it, however, the more simple you keep it, the better, right? And so whatever's simpler for you, whether that's keeping it in your notes or creating this Go High Level system and having access to all this. Really, I should put my Go High Level link in the description. But if you want that, then just hit me up, I guess. Then we move on to the final step, which is the onboarding video. Now you could use Loom or you could use Go High Level courses for the walkthrough. It's like, again, very simple. You just grab your phone, boom, you make the onboarding course of like, hey, this is how it usually goes. And preferably, hey, look, I'm on the job right now of this customer, and this is how we process stuff. So if you want, you can involve the customer that you're working with and be like, hey, customer, I'm filming onboarding, if you could help me out with it, just so people understand my process, right? And it makes it seem more seamless for them. Cool. Thank you. All right. Here I'm with Bobby. Bobby, he went through my website and you overlay that, right? He went through my website, fill out the application. Then what I ended up doing was calling him and confirming, hey, what you got going on, this, and that. And then we set up an appointment. And after that, I confirmed it an hour before. He said, yes, it's still on. I was like, cool. I show up there and he's already ready. He was outside waiting for me, right? I told him, hey, my ETA is 30 minutes out, 10 minutes out, whatever it is. And so I show up, he's ready. He comes, he explains to me his issue. He shows me how it happens when it happens with him. And then after understanding that sometimes you don't see it, sometimes you are able to hear it or what have you. And so go through that process. And then he goes inside. That's it. He goes inside, he relaxes, he has a drink, he puts his feet up, watches TV. And then after, however long it takes me, hey, if it takes me 8 hours for whatever you got going on, for if we're doing a full rebuild and stuff, you get to relax. I'm out here, I'm doing the work for you, and then I'll go to your door, I'll knock on it. And then, or if you want me to text you or call you, I could do that when I'm finished. And then after that, you come, you look at it, you drive it, make sure that their concern is gone. And after that, payment, and I leave. That's the process. So ideally, you make it nice, short, sweet, and simple, right? Because people's attention is not what it used to be. So 2 minutes, less than 5 minutes. Let's say less than 5 minutes, just to keep it simple for you guys. But that's been everything on this list, right? At least from this section down. That's it. And so if you guys put this together, you'll be really, really well on your way to have everything set up for you to be really successful in your mechanic business. And again, you don't have to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is literally put an ad up. I'm doing mobile mechanic work, and eventually people will hit you, right? It's like people price shop. So if you're the lowest price, then you'll get more calls than somebody who is higher price. But regardless of the matter, you will get calls going on. And if you have the system in play, you really don't have to do much. People will just like give you all the answers that you need already. They'll give you the VIN number. They'll give you the year, make, model. They'll give you their concern. They'll give you everything. And so all you have to do is pretty much just look at it. Okay, this is what you got going on. Boom, call you, confirm and set everything up. But that's been the video. I hope you guys appreciate this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I show up here every day around 8 p.m. ish. And so if you enjoyed it, I appreciate that. Make sure you stay tuned for the next video, which happens tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace.